we are honored to have Mr. Ripunjay Parikh, Director Sales Power Distribution Eaton India. Ripunjay Parikh has been leading the sales of power distribution business for Eaton in India since October 2016. He is an electrical engineer with over 29 years of experience in the industry, in the field of power distribution, motor controllers, and automation product and solutions. In his current role, Mr. Parikh is responsible for managing and driving the growth of Eaton's global solution of power distribution motor controllers in India. He is also responsible for bringing Eaton world-class medium voltage distribution product and offering to the Indian customers. He also leads the energy transition initiative for Eaton in India. Today, Mr. Parikh will talk about advancing energy transition for smart utilities.
In fact, Eaton plays a very vital role in the power distribution segment, and we understand what are the challenges in the power distribution. Primarily, if I talk of the issues are more on the technology side. On the operational side, how do we really reduce the losses, and how do we really integrate multiple different power generation capabilities? So this is what is going to be the theme of the topic today. In terms of the mega trends, we clearly understand that these are the four major mega trends that we can expect in the electrical business. One is in terms of the electrification of the users, like energy e-vehicles, where globally we expect there should be a 50% increase in the power consumption dedicated on account of the EV chargers. Secondly, renewable is going to be one of the major focus area, and in India also the government has a very strong ambition of having 500 gigawatts of renewable power by 2030. The third trend is going to be digitalization, because having power is one part, but then how do you effectively digitalize it? How do you have the networks and the equipments which are all connected together? And the fourth important point is, let's say, how do you bring in more stability to the grid? And that is where my points of discussions will be focused today. We further believe that the users of today will become, let's say, power producers of tomorrow. And whether it's a building, whether it's a commercial installation or a factory, they will have, let's say, multiple sources of power available. They will be generating solar power, renewable power, and feed the power back to the grid as the situation may be. There will be a mass scale integration of EV charging, and that's where the facilities, whether it's the utilities, whether it's the grids or the buildings, needs to be, let's say, very well connected to be able to manage these evolving usage of power, as well as, let's say, generation of power. And that's where, let's say, the power distribution systems needs to be modern. And second element is, as I talked of, the sustainability, and that's where Eaton believes in energy transition, having power generation where we are able to eliminate the use of hazardous gas, or let's say, the fossil fuels. So as a solution, I will cover on some of the innovations that are available in the industry to address these current challenges as well as the future opportunities. One of the biggest challenge today is in terms of, let's say, how do we bring in better operability for the switchgear. And in the 33 kV space, I would want to really talk of something called a hybrid switchgear, where while we are able to reduce the footprint to more than half as compared to the conventional air insulated switchgear, we are able to bring in a lot of, let's say, user operability at the site level by way of modularity, as compared to a conventional RMU where you cannot do anything. So here the concept is a beautiful fixed breaker, isolator, and the earth switch concept, completely built up in a compact space. While we and these are all type tested facilities available today. And in the event, let's say, the utilities needs to expand, they need to add more feeders, or let's say more users. You don't need to replace the existing facility. You can just keep on expanding it. So Eaton has this world-class HMH switchgear facility, which is getting now manufactured in India, and these are available now to the utilities. We are having a very good presence in North, where the commercial establishments find it very, very useful. But having said that, the need of the hour is how we can eliminate the use of SF6. And today in the distribution, the major usages of ring main units, which has a SF6 insulation, primarily to reduce the size of the switchgear. Eaton is a pioneer in the SF6 free switchgear. We have a facility and a system where this is entirely solid insulated. This means all the current carrying path, all the, let's say, live equipments are completely enclosed in a solid insulated encapsulation and then covered into a steel tag. The advantage of this, there is no SF6 gas. Secondly, there is no leakage on account of SF6, so you're not damaging the atmosphere. It gives in the same compact footprint as you have for a normal ring main unit. And the most important point, this is one of the very key safety features for a user or the operator who's going to use this. The earthing switch in this is visually available, and you can see the isolation, and then you can safely access the live parts. These are all automation ready, and when we talk of, let's say, automation, and I'm sure a lot of speakers are going to speak about this, these units can be very well integrated into the SCADA system, into the digital networks. And I'm happy to say in India, we have more than 300 units already working in Mumbai Discom. A lot of metros and tunnel machines are already using this installation. Another interesting concept which I would like to talk is about the compact substations, because today as we move to, let's say, more compact and organized systems, we don't want to really keep the equipments outside. They are all available in a compact substation. The conventional compact substation would have, let's say, a medium voltage switchgear transformer and a low voltage into an enclosure. But a modern concept is having this entire system underground. And I'm happy to share with you that Eaton partnered with the BESCOM for a pilot installation where right under the footpath on the streets, the substation was created, and we used the solid insulated switchgear, which I just talked about. Because in an underground substation, if there's a leakage of gas, it may not be evacuated easily. And this system is really able to eliminate the need for, let's say, the dirty pole mounted structures or transformers, or let's say these cabinets sitting on the streets. This is all completely going underground, and Eaton will be happy to really partner with utilities to expand this particular concept. The third concept which I want to talk about the innovation is in terms of the energy storage. I talked about, let's say, the need for grid resilience, and one of the reason for that is the grids at times have a higher demand, the generation is low, and vice versa. There are times where the demand is less, but the generation is higher. Now, when we are going to integrate the solar power, whether it's, let's say, the solar will have, let's say, effective generation window of 7 to 8 hours during the day. The winds would have the various power generations depending on the wind speed. So how do we really bring a stability to the grid? And that's where the concept of energy storage comes in, wherein when there's an excess demand, you can store the power in a battery-based systems, and when there's an excess demand, you can actually feed the power from the energy storage system. This effectively ensures that you are shaving off the peak demands. You are effectively managing the grid resilience when there's an excess or varying demands. And in the future, you can expect that the tariffs also will be different. When there's a peak generation, the tariffs could be low, but when there's a peak demand, the tariffs could be high. That's where the energy storage is able to effectively address this. And the energy storage systems typically are available in a very compact units where you want to create it only for an individual facility. And when you want to create something of a grid scale, you can have containerized based solutions. These are all very well self-contained systems, having its own power conversion, having its own temperature monitoring, HVAC, fire safety systems, and the battery pack systems. And Eaton is a pioneer in this space. We are helping building up multiple such facilities in India also and globally also. Last point I would want to talk about the adoption of EV charging. Eaton understands that EV charging is going to be a very demanding infrastructure. There will be times where, let's say, there will be peak load when there are more charging units available. Eaton has a wide solutions, right from the AC chargers to DC chargers. These are all getting manufactured here in India. But at the same time, we understand the entire infrastructure and the ecosystem right from the grid till the chargers. Eaton can support the utilities as well as, let's say, the charge point operators to build up a very robust and efficient system. Another point I would want to talk about, since the topic is about how do we make the utilities smarter, Eaton has a globally a wide suite of, let's say, softwares which works across utilities, data centers, industries, and buildings. Specific to utilities, we have a wide range of packages available which can help utilities to build up very reliable networks. What you see in terms of power distribution, Eaton has a software called SIME, which is used by practically, I would say, more than 20 utilities or 20 states across the country, which helps them to do a very efficient planning of their network in terms of the load management, in terms of the substations. And we are building up more, speed and efficiency there. We also have a wide basket of substation automation and smart grid solutions, where Eaton can help the utilities map to the last meter available in their network. And in the event, let's say you need to, let's say, add or modify your substations, this happens right at the site where the user is going to do it. So not much going into details, but these are all going to be the modern trends, and Eaton has a complete range of portfolio, right from medium voltage, low voltage power distribution, which are all intelligent devices and which can be used by the utilities in building up their substations, building up their facilities. And with this, we can be, ensuring that the utilities are now being more smart. Quickly about Eaton, we are a US-based multinational company having close to $23 billion revenue, of which close to 16 billion comes from the electrical business. In the electrical business, we have the medium voltage switchgear, ring main units, power substations, low voltage switchgear, power distribution, and final distribution. And we have a world-class manufacturing facility here in India, available in Pondicherry, which is again rapidly expanding to meet the future demands of the country. With that, back to you, and I'll be happy to answer any questions the team has.
Thank you, Mr. Parikh, for sharing your views on advancing energy transition for smart utilities.